Let me speak to you not as someone who has it all figured out, but as someone who has walked through fire, faced silence, endured storms, and discovered truths I wish someone had placed gently into my hands years ago. I am 38 now, and if you are in your 20s or 30s, listen closely, because what I am about to share could save you years of confusion, heartbreak, and self-doubt. In your youth, you believe there is time to dream, time to heal, time to start over. And while time is generous, it is also relentless. You blink and seasons change. Opportunities pass quietly. People drift. And suddenly, you realize that the days you thought were endless were actually shaping the foundation of your future. Every choice you make now is planting a seed. Some will bloom into joy, others into regret. Choose wisely. You will spend years trying to please people who will never clap for your success and will always question your growth. You will betray yourself to keep peace with others, only to discover that silence shrinks your soul. Let me tell you this with love and clarity: your voice matters, your boundaries are sacred, and your peace is not negotiable. You will overwork yourself to prove your worth, believing exhaustion is a badge of honor. But real success is not measured by how tired you are. It is measured by how aligned you feel with your purpose. Rest is not weakness. It is wisdom. You will love people more than they love themselves, and in doing so, you may lose pieces of who you are. But one day you will learn that love should never require self-abandonment. The right connections will grow you, not shrink you. The right relationships will calm your nervous system, not keep you in constant chaos. There will be moments when you feel lost, behind, unfulfilled, and uncertain. You will compare your journey to others and forget that life is not a race. It is a calling. Your timeline does not need validation. Your pace does not need permission. If I could whisper one truth into your younger heart, it would be this: trust yourself sooner. Stop waiting for the world to approve your dreams. Stop dimming your light to make others comfortable. Stop apologizing for the woman or the man you are becoming. You are not here to merely survive. You are here to rise, to evolve, to heal, and to lead with authenticity. Your 20s and 30s are not just years of building careers. They are years of building identity, character, and courage. Do not waste them trying to become someone society applauds. Become someone your soul respects. Listen to your intuition. Protect your peace. Invest in your mind. Be gentle with your mistakes. Be brave with your dreams. And above all, choose growth even when it feels uncomfortable. Because one day, you will stand where I stand now, looking back, and the only question that will matter is this: did you honor who you truly were? Or did you spend your best years trying to become who everyone else wanted you to be? Time is the most misunderstood gift of youth, because when you are young, it feels limitless, forgiving, and quiet. You believe you can pause today and return tomorrow, that dreams can be delayed and ambitions can wait, that there will always be another chance, another beginning, another perfect moment. But the truth is gentle and harsh at the same time. Time does not stop. It moves with or without your permission, and every second you waste is a moment you will never be able to reclaim. When you are in your 20s or 30s, it is easy to fall into the illusion that life will magically come together later. You convince yourself that you will start when you feel ready, when conditions are perfect, when fear disappears, when the timing feels right. But perfect timing is a comforting lie. Growth happens in imperfect moments, through uncomfortable decisions, and in the messy middle of uncertainty. Every day you wake up is a silent opportunity. Every hour is a silent teacher. Every moment is shaping the person you are becoming. The habits you choose today define the discipline of your future. The excuses you repeat today build the regrets of your tomorrow. Success is not created in one dramatic moment. It is built in the quiet consistency of small intentional actions. Wasted time rarely looks like laziness. Sometimes it looks like overthinking, distraction, comfort, or waiting for approval. You scroll mindlessly, delay important tasks, postpone meaningful conversations, and tell yourself you will do better next week. But weeks turn into months, and months dissolve into years. Suddenly, you realize that the life you wanted has been slowly drifting away while you were waiting for courage. Time is not just about productivity. It is about awareness. It is about understanding the weight of now. The present moment is powerful because it is the only moment where change actually occurs. Yesterday is a lesson. Tomorrow is a possibility, but today is responsibility. You do not need to rush through life, but you must respect it. Respect your mornings, your energy, your potential. Respect the hours you are given and invest them wisely. Learn something daily. Improve something daily. Heal something daily. Even small steps taken consistently will move you closer to the life you desire. There will be days when motivation fades and doubt grows louder. That is when discipline must rise. Not because you feel inspired, but because you understand the value of time. You do not grow by waiting, you grow by choosing. You evolve by action, not intention. Think of time as a mirror. It reflects back what you put into it. If you fill it with purpose, it will reward you with progress. If you fill it with fear, it will answer with stagnation. You decide which story your clock will tell. One day, you will look back and realize how precious these early years were. You will see that the moments you hesitated were the very moments that could have reshaped your destiny. And the only regret that truly hurts is the regret of not starting sooner. So start now. Start imperfect. Start afraid, but start anyway. Use your time to build, not to escape. Use your days to grow, not to shrink. Your future self is watching your choices today, silently hoping you will be brave enough to honor this moment. Because time is not endless, but your potential is, and the bridge between the two is action, awareness, and unwavering commitment to yourself. One of the most powerful lessons you can learn in your 20s and 30s is that your value is not determined by the opinions of others. Yet many spend years searching for validation as if it is a currency. From an early age, society teaches us to seek approval. It tells you to conform, to fit in, to behave in ways that will be praised. And slowly, you begin to measure your worth through the eyes of those around you. You adjust your dreams to suit the comfort of others. You shrink your voice to avoid conflict, and you silence your ideas in fear of judgment. But the cost of this constant approval seeking is high. It robs you of confidence, clouds your purpose, and delays your growth. Self-worth is not a gift given by others. It is an understanding cultivated within. It begins with the quiet but powerful recognition that you are enough as you are, that your voice matters, and that your choices deserve respect. No one can walk your path, feel your fears, or carry your dreams for you. When you internalize this truth, you start to live differently. You speak more boldly, act more decisively, and stop letting external opinions dictate your life. In your 20s and 30s, you will encounter people who try to influence your decisions, criticize your goals, or subtly undermine your confidence. Many of them mean no harm, yet some do. The challenge is learning to filter advice, differentiate constructive guidance from negativity, and recognize when someone else's perspective is useful and when it is a distraction. Trusting yourself requires courage, but it is the foundation of authentic living. Seeking approval is also a form of procrastination. You wait to act until someone else gives permission. You hesitate to speak until your ideas are validated. You pause your growth until someone nods in agreement. But life does not wait. Progress favors those who take ownership of their choices and who trust their inner guidance over the applause of the crowd. True confidence is quiet but powerful. It does not boast or demand recognition. It shows up in decisions aligned with values rather than in the approval of strangers. Every time you choose your path over popular opinion, your self-respect grows, and with it, the clarity of your purpose. Self-worth fuels momentum, and momentum fuels change. The two together create a life that is unshakable and meaningful. Another dimension of self-worth is understanding that boundaries are not optional. Saying no is not rejection, it is protection of your energy and integrity. Walking away from relationships, opportunities, or environments that diminish your self-respect is not selfish, it is essential. It communicates to yourself and the world that you honor your value, and it sets a standard for how others will treat you. In addition, self-worth frees you from comparison. Once you stop measuring yourself against the milestones, achievements, and lifestyles of others, you begin to focus on your journey. Your time, your growth, and your evolution become your priorities. Comparison breeds anxiety, doubt, and impatience. Self-worth breeds peace, confidence, and clarity. Self-worth is not static. It is a daily practice. It requires mindfulness, reflection, and consistency. Affirming your value, setting healthy boundaries, trusting your intuition, and celebrating your small wins all reinforce the understanding that you are inherently worthy of success, love, and happiness. When you embrace self-worth over approval, life shifts, decisions become easier, growth accelerates, and authenticity replaces pretense. The energy once spent trying to impress is redirected toward building, creating, and achieving. You no longer seek permission to live fully, you claim it as your right. Ultimately, self-worth is freedom. It allows you to live according to your truth, to pursue your passions without apology, and to move through life with confidence and grace. Once you understand this principle, the noise of external judgment loses its power, and you step into a life designed not for approval, but for fulfillment. One of the most crucial lessons in life is understanding that success and fulfillment are not measured by how much you can endure, how many hours you work, or how exhausted you feel at the end of the day. In your 20s and 30s, it is common to equate business with value. You are praised for overworking, applauded for sleepless nights, and often convinced that exhaustion is a badge of honor. But true success is not about how much you sacrifice of yourself. It is about how aligned your actions are with your purpose, values, and passion. Exhaustion may feel productive, but it is often a signal that something in your life is misaligned. You may be pursuing a career that does not resonate with your talents or values. You may be saying yes to opportunities that drain your energy rather than expand it. You may be seeking validation through achievements instead of fulfillment. When actions are not aligned with your inner truth, the result is chronic fatigue, frustration, and a persistent sense of emptiness. Alignment begins with awareness. It requires knowing yourself deeply, your strengths, limitations, passions, and purpose. You must take the time to reflect, to ask yourself why you are doing what you are doing, and to evaluate whether your efforts are producing results that matter to you personally, not just what the world defines as success. Alignment is conscious, intentional, and often uncomfortable at first because it may require saying no, leaving situations, or redefining goals. When you align your actions with your purpose, motivation naturally follows. Work no longer feels like a burden, and the energy you invest returns to you exponentially. Sleep becomes restorative instead of merely functional. Your focus sharpens because you are no longer scattered, attempting to please everyone, or overextending yourself in directions that do not matter. Productivity becomes meaningful productivity rather than busy work disguised as progress. Many people confuse discipline with overexertion. Discipline is not relentless toil. Discipline is consistency, prioritization, and clarity. It is the ability to dedicate yourself fully to what truly matters and release the rest without guilt. Alignment and discipline work hand in hand. When your life is aligned, you no longer need to force yourself into exhaustion to prove worthiness. Your commitment comes naturally because you are acting in harmony with your goals and values. Alignment also impacts relationships. When your priorities are clear, you attract people who respect your boundaries and energy. You no longer tolerate constant drama, emotional manipulation, or obligations that drain you. Your circle mirrors your level of alignment, and in return, the support and encouragement you receive becomes more authentic and nourishing. Before 30, it is tempting to push through exhaustion to prove that you can handle pressure, that you are committed, or that you are deserving of opportunities. But over time, this habit leads to burnout, disillusionment, and even health challenges. Alignment teaches you that saying yes strategically and saying no wisely is more powerful than relentless effort without direction. Alignment also builds confidence. When you see yourself making choices that reflect your true self, your self-respect grows. You stop seeking validation from external sources and begin to measure success based on your internal compass. You no longer compare your journey with others because you are walking your own path intentionally. The beauty of alignment is that it is sustainable. It creates momentum without depletion, progress without sacrifice of your well-being, and results without the cost of your peace. It allows you to enjoy the journey, celebrate milestones meaningfully, and maintain energy for the long term. In conclusion, alignment over exhaustion is the cornerstone of sustainable success and fulfillment. Life is too short to spend energy on activities, jobs, or relationships that do not resonate with who you are and what you are meant to achieve. By prioritizing alignment, you reclaim your energy, enhance your focus, and cultivate a life that is productive, joyful, and deeply meaningful. Choosing alignment over exhaustion is not just a strategy, it is a declaration that your purpose, health, and happiness matter above all else. One of the most powerful truths you will learn in your 20s and 30s is that love should never require you to abandon yourself. Many people spend years giving everything they have to relationships, friendships, and even family, believing that love is measured by sacrifice, compromise, and self-denial. While love does involve giving, supporting, and understanding, it should never come at the expense of your identity, your peace, or your purpose. Self-abandonment in the name of love is one of the silent killers of fulfillment because it erodes your confidence, drains your energy, and diminishes your sense of worth. When you are young, it is common to believe that being loved means fitting into someone else's expectations. You adjust your personality, hide your quirks, and suppress your desires to maintain harmony. You apologize for your feelings and downplay your needs, thinking that this is what keeps relationships alive. But in reality, every time you compromise your authentic self to make others comfortable, you are creating a slow disconnect from your own heart. Over time, this leads to resentment, regret, and a sense of invisibility within the very relationships you cherish. Love without self-abandonment requires awareness and boundaries. Boundaries are not walls meant to isolate or protect selfishness. They are guidelines that communicate respect for yourself and your partner. Setting limits ensures that your emotional, mental, and physical energy is honored. Boundaries allow relationships to thrive because they encourage mutual respect, honesty, and healthy communication. They teach others how to treat you and reinforce your own sense of value. Before 30, many people mistake dependence for love. They seek validation from partners, friends, or family and believe that their worth is tied to how much they are needed or how much they can provide. This mindset creates unhealthy dynamics where relationships are based on codependence rather than mutual growth. True love flourishes when both individuals are whole, independent, and committed to their personal evolution. When you prioritize your growth, your passions, and your well-being, you are better equipped to love fully without losing yourself. It is also important to recognize toxic patterns early. Some relationships demand control, create anxiety, or foster emotional manipulation. Love that diminishes you is not love. It is a trap that steals energy and distorts perception. Self-abandonment is often silent. You may not notice it until you feel depleted, anxious, or unsure of who you are. Cultivating awareness helps you identify these patterns and choose relationships that elevate your life rather than confine it. Giving love freely does not mean surrendering your identity. Love without self-abandonment means offering compassion, empathy, and support while remaining anchored in your truth. It means expressing your needs openly, pursuing your goals, and maintaining your individuality. The strongest relationships are built on the foundation of two complete people who inspire each other, challenge each other, and respect each other's space and energy. Practicing self-love and self-respect is a prerequisite for loving others without losing yourself. The more you honor your own worth, the less likely you are to tolerate relationships that undermine your peace. Self-awareness and emotional intelligence allow you to love with clarity, not desperation, and to invest in connections that are mutually nurturing. Before 30, many underestimate the importance of learning to love wisely. You may prioritize being liked over being respected or choose comfort over authenticity. But wisdom comes when you realize that the quality of your relationships directly affects your growth, confidence, and happiness. Love should empower, not imprison. It should inspire growth, not create fear. In conclusion, learning to love without self-abandonment is a transformative skill that shapes not only your personal life, but every area of your journey. When you maintain your integrity, honor your boundaries, and prioritize your well-being, relationships become a source of support, inspiration, and joy. Love freely, but love wisely. Protect your heart, respect your energy, and never settle for a connection that asks you to compromise your true self. When love respects your authenticity, it becomes a catalyst for growth, happiness, and fulfillment. One of the most transformative lessons you can learn in your 20s and 30s is the power of trusting your inner voice. Life will constantly surround you with opinions, advice, and expectations from friends, family, colleagues, and society at large. Everyone will have a perspective on how you should live, what choices you should make, and what path you should follow. While some guidance may be valuable, ultimately, only you can hear and understand your own truth. Your inner voice is your compass, your connection to intuition, and the source of clarity that leads you toward authentic fulfillment. When you are young, it is easy to doubt your instincts. You second-guess decisions, wait for external validation, and postpone action until someone else gives approval. Fear often disguises itself as logic, convincing you that you are not ready, not capable, or not deserving. The truth is that readiness and permission are illusions. Your inner voice knows more about your potential than any external opinion. Learning to trust it is not instant. It requires practice, courage, and patience. Your inner voice communicates in subtle ways. Sometimes it appears as a quiet nudge, a feeling of discomfort, or an inner sense of alignment. Other times it is more pronounced, urging you to act despite fear, speak despite doubt, or leave situations that no longer serve you. The challenge is listening carefully in a world full of noise. It requires mindfulness and stillness, the ability to step back and distinguish between fear, ego, and intuition. Many people confuse inner voice with impulsiveness or wishful thinking. Trusting yourself does not mean acting recklessly or ignoring reality. It means acknowledging your instincts, weighing your options, and then taking decisive action with confidence. When you trust your inner guidance, decision-making becomes clearer, hesitation decreases, and self-confidence grows. You no longer rely on others to define your direction because your own sense of purpose becomes your guide. Before 30, you will face moments where your inner voice challenges societal norms, family expectations, or peer pressure. It may tell you to change careers, leave unhealthy relationships, or pursue dreams that feel risky. These moments are uncomfortable, but they are essential for growth. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the choice to act despite it, guided by the wisdom of your inner voice. Trusting your intuition also helps you navigate relationships wisely. Your inner voice can alert you to red flags, reveal who aligns with your values, and guide you toward people who support your growth. When you ignore this guidance, you often end up in situations that drain your energy, undermine your confidence, or delay your progress. Conversely, honoring your intuition attracts opportunities, friendships, and experiences that are authentic and supportive. Developing trust in your inner voice requires consistent practice. Begin by carving out time for reflection, journaling, meditation, or quiet walks. Notice patterns in your thoughts and feelings. Recognize when fear, anxiety, or societal expectations cloud your judgment and distinguish these from your authentic instincts. Celebrate small victories when you act in alignment with your inner guidance. Each decision strengthens your trust, making your voice louder and more reliable. Another key aspect of trusting yourself is learning to forgive mistakes. Even when your instincts lead to outcomes you did not expect, view these experiences as feedback, not failure. Your inner voice is constantly learning, evolving, and adjusting based on experience. Respecting it does not guarantee perfection, it guarantees authenticity, growth, and alignment with your true path. In conclusion, trusting your inner voice is a skill that empowers you to live authentically, make confident decisions, and navigate life with clarity. It is the bridge between your potential and your reality, guiding you through uncertainty and fear. When you honor your instincts, you honor yourself, and your life becomes a reflection of your truth. Listen carefully, act boldly, and trust that your inner guidance is always leading you toward your highest purpose. As we reflect on these lessons, one truth becomes clear: life is too short to live by anyone else's script. Your 20s and 30s are not just a phase. They are the foundation of the life you will build, the habits you will carry, and the person you will become. Every choice, every relationship. Every decision shapes your future, and the earlier you embrace awareness, self-worth, alignment, love without compromise, and trust in your inner voice, the stronger your foundation becomes. Success and fulfillment are not measured by external validation, endless business, or the approval of others. They are measured by authenticity, intentional action, and courage to live in harmony with your values and purpose. By prioritizing your time, respecting your worth, aligning your actions with your vision, loving without losing yourself, and listening to your intuition, you create a life that is meaningful, empowered, and resilient. Mistakes will happen, fear will rise, and uncertainty will challenge you, but these experiences are not setbacks. They are lessons, mirrors, and stepping stones that guide you toward clarity. Do not wait for permission, do not dim your light for comfort, and do not delay your growth for fear. The power to shape your life lies within you, in every choice you make, and in every moment you decide to honor yourself. Step boldly into your journey. Protect your energy, nurture your mind, and cultivate relationships and habits that elevate you. Live intentionally, love wisely, and trust that your inner voice will always guide you toward the life you are meant to create. The years ahead are a canvas. Paint them with purpose, courage, and authenticity. Your best self is not a distant goal. It is already within you, waiting to be expressed fully and unapologetically.